let's have a look at the Follow Up Boss reporting and some of the recent changes. Recently, Follow Up Boss set this new screen up. So when you click on reporting, this is predominantly for admin and owner level users. But if you click here on reporting in the top menu, it's going to bring you to this screen now that's got some card style options. Whereas before it used to just drop you to some of these tabs that are already here. So some of these are the same when you click on them. You can drill down. There's a number of settings here that can be important. You could be on everyone. You could be on specific team members. If you're a platform level user, you'll have your teams here. So you could even view certain groups. Like if you had an ISA team, like multiple ISAs, you could easily drop down to this and see all of your ISAs stats, as well as drill down into each of them individually. So same for team members. If you have like an East and a West team or a commercial versus a residential team, you can do all those things through here if you're a platform level user. Another good tip is a lot of times this is best on web leads for the settings. Manual leads are typically leads that are added by typing them in or by importing. So generally, I know a lot of us are looking more at our lead generation platforms, which are typically going to be grouped under web leads. The way I like to think of it is web leads are essentially the leads you see in your lead flow. And any other types of leads are generally going to be an import or a manual typed in lead, which most likely is not from one of your lead sources. The other great thing here is you can set the time frame. So you can look at the current month, the last 7 days, anything to that effect. You can also drill down to all time. The other cool option is you can check this box to compare to the previous period. So if you're looking at, say, this month's stats, obviously it depends on what day of the month you're in, but you can look at this month's stats and then compare it to the previous period that matches that. So, for example, if I wanted to look at this year versus last year, so now I've got, January through May of this year, as well as January through May of 2021 here in comparison, as well as each of these stats are showing that if those numbers are up or down compared to that prior year. So pretty great stuff here. You can also change a couple things here as far as the what you're visualizing. And you can also, again, select criteria here compared to criteria here. So you can even say new leads, compared to number of calls or number of texts or task completed or appointments. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. You can also drop down here and find other kind of preset options, for lack of a better term. One of the best ones is leads not acted on. And then something else that's cool about this report, once you're down here, is that these, if they have information on them, these are clickable links. So they're going to take you to that person that has not been actioned. And a great thing about that is you can actually click on that lead and even say, hey, at April, can you check in with this guy? I guess that's a question. Um, so a great way to identify leads that have potentially been not actioned and send the agent a quick note. So hopping back into that reporting card screen, there's a couple of things here as well that I want to point out. Call logs in particular is a newer ad. And the cool thing about this is this will show you all the recent calls. Again, similar criteria. It could be a team or an individual agent. And you can, again, look at it through certain time frames. But you can easily go through here and listen to these calls if your call recording is on. You can also download them, as well as get some basic intel on the source. Like if this was a call into one of your inboxes, you can see, is this a Google LSA or is this a sign call? If that's how your inboxes are set up, you can even see the duration, the time of the call, and then the contact in particular as well. So obviously this is a demo account, so you're probably going to have a lot more information in here. Also, just a really great coaching tool to be able to go in through and listen to some of their calls. For example, if say this was a call that you wanted to do something with or coach the agent on, I don't know why it's not dropping me to this contact. This may have been someone we made up and then deleted. If that is the case, then one of the cool things you can do here is if that call was to this person, you can come in here and do the same thing, make a note, and just say, hey, great job on this call. Maybe next time you can offer a free home value report. And so you can do a bit of coaching here, kind of asynchronously or tied to the actual account. And this note is going to actually send the agent, the assigned agent, or the tagged mentioned agent, an email with a link right to this contact as well. So that's another pretty handy feature that happens there. So we've got the deals leaderboard, which is pretty cool and also kind of new. The regular leaderboard, which you can toggle through from here, which is the activity leaderboard, is always going to show you who has made the most connections. One quick tip, we set this up with somebody recently. Their MLS emails were coming through the system. They were sent by the MLS, but they were being tallied here. One cool thing that you can actually do is hop into your account and under my settings, let's see if I can do this right. Of course, I'm not doing it right live. Go to, I want to say it's company. I'm probably going to get it wrong a couple of times. To the block list here. So the block list under admin company, you can block certain emails from coming in here. So like if your MLS system is Matrix, you could say, please block MLS at Matrix. I'm making this up. This isn't the right email address, but you can block this email address. And what that does is the agent will still get an email in their Gmail, like if they're copied or BCC'd on those MLS emails, like property alerts, but it takes them out of this system, which can be especially handy for things like this where you probably don't want to see that, like that doesn't count as an email to a consumer, so it shouldn't be in their leaderboard just because the MLS said, hey, here's another property that meets your criteria. So you can do things like that. If you have somebody personal in your database, like a spouse or a parent that maybe like wants to get a newsletter but doesn't need to be you don't want to see all your emails back and forth with them, you can do the same here. You can block that. And again, same with phone numbers, whether it's a solicitation or something you need to block. Go light with this, but this can be a great solution if there are certain emails that you just don't want to see in the system, but you somehow need that contact in your system or whatnot. So hopping back here, we had leaderboard, the source report, speed to lead is another great report. You can pretty easily see speed to action, and then also broken down into call, speed to text, speed to email by source. So this can be pretty great as well. You can also sort these. So if you click on this, it'll actually sort um, by lead count, which in this case there isn't any. But if you were to click on this, it would show your source with the most leads up here at the top. Again, obviously you want to make sure your settings are what you want up here. Contact attempts is another big one that I believe is newer. This is really powerful. I think it's great to be able to make sure that our agents aren't calling people once and then never again. So this is another great feature, again, by lead source. You can see how many contact attempts are being made. And then again, that same type of breakdown. So one other thing, there's some marketing things and some other new things. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but one other thing I wanted to show real quick under reporting is the batch emails. So if you're using batch emails, this is a really fantastic way to drill into who is engaging with those emails, because you'll see here how many were sent, how many were sent, but you can drill down into clicks and opens. So again, this is a dummy demo account, but if you send a blast email to a couple hundred people and you had clicks and opens, if you click on these are actually, I'll use this as an example since there are people here, it actually takes you to those contacts. So this is a really powerful list to be able to follow up with, because this is people that engaged with a recent email that you just sent. So this can be a really good one. So if you use this yourself and you're an agent, you can obviously now go here and contact all these guys. You could also potentially click on them and mention them if they're either assigned to other agents or you want other agents to follow up. You could potentially go through all these and just say, hey, at April, can you contact this guy? He opened our most recent email. And then the other great thing about this system set up this way, you can send this message to her and then go make sure you hit create note, um, and then go right to the next one on that same list and do it all over again. You could even actually copy and paste, um, if you just want to say the same thing each time. Can you follow up, please? And then you could grab this. The at mention won't copy, but it's a quick, easy way that you can send that message. Go to the next one. Hey, at April, paste, and then you're ready to go. So, again, a bit of an edit for Follow Up Boss now. When you hit this reporting screen, you've got some options here, as well as still having these options across the top. There's some better deals reporting as well built into this now, where you can sort and filter by some of these things. And the same for appointments. You can sort and filter by type or outcome or agent or time frame. So some really good stuff here. This has improved drastically over the last couple of months and even years. So I just wanted to tackle some of it real quick. But I think there's a lot of things in here. Maybe pick one thing that's useful to you and start to execute on that. And the more you live in this, the more you'll find good opportunities for coaching and increased lead generation.